You want the best for your car? You already watch our tutorials.
So the best place for the best deal is to buy from the Mr. Auto app.
You will find the bulk drum brake kit used in the video exclusively on the Mr. Auto website and through the link in the description. Turn your engine off. Pull up the handbrake, pull on the bonnet release lever and open the bonnet. Open the brake fluid reservoir. Loosen the rear wheel studs. Lift the rear of your vehicle. Place the vehicle on the axle stands. We strongly suggest watching our tutorial, raising your Clio 5 safely, before carrying out this step. To change the rear drums on your vehicle, you will have to remove the wheels to gain full access. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. You can now see the drum brakes on your car. Loosen the drum retaining screw on the rear hub using a T40 Torx socket. Be careful, the socket is fragile. It is particularly important to push the bit deep down into its slot. You can use a hammer to help you. Then release the handbrake, or else you won't be able to proceed. You need to remove the drum to access the brake system. As the components to be removed are very often seized up, don't hesitate to brush and to use penetrating oil to facilitate the operation. Use a hammer to tap the drum to loosen the brake shoes from the drum and make it easier to remove. Remove it by levering it out with 2 screwdrivers. Now you have to pull the shoes out of their housings. To do this, use a flat screwdriver or a pickle fork. Disengage the lower spring from the brake shoes. Using pliers, while holding the rod from behind, unclip the hold-down parts that hold the shoes, pressing on the springs and turning a quarter turn to release them. Now you have to pull the shoes out of their housings. This stage can be rather difficult. Remove the handbrake cable from its latch. You can use a pair of pliers to help. Clean the hub with a wire brush. You now need to clean the inner side with a wire brush and brake cleaner in order to remove the brake dust left over from natural wear of the brake shoes. Remember to protect the floor by placing a fluid collection tray. When replacing the back brake drums, you should also replace the brake cylinder, essential component in the good working of the system.
Okay, guys, if we can share this video with you and help you save a lot of money, is also thanks to our partner, Mr. Auto. So, if you want to support us and buy the part for this operation, visit their website. Okay, back to work.
For this, with a metallic brush, start by cleaning the back of the cylinder. Don't hesitate to spray it with degreaser to facilitate its removal. Use an 11mm flare nut spanner to loosen the brake fluid inlet pipe by a few threads. Finish unscrewing the brake fluid inlet. Then plug the hose to avoid spilling brake fluid. Take a socket wrench and a 10mm socket to remove the wheel cylinder mounting screw. You can now remove the wheel cylinder. Clean it again to remove the liquid which light have come out. You will find the bulk parts and products used in the video on the Mr. Auto website. And in the link in the description, take the new cylinder supplied with the drum brake kit. And remove the sealing cap. You can now put in place the new brake cylinder, then screw it back on. Finish off the tightening with a Torx wrench. Install the brake hose and tighten it by hand by a few threads. Finish tightening the brake hose. Clean it again to remove the liquid which light have come out. Once cleaned and dried, grease the support surfaces for the linings with copper grease. Get the new shoes ready. If you have a pre-assembled kit, you will only have to put the old linings in place. If not, then on the workbench, prepare the new kit before its installation. Remove the various springs and retrieve the handbrake adjuster. To do this, use a flat screwdriver or a pickle fork. Get the new springs and install the automatic handbrake adjuster on the new brake shoes. Pay careful attention to which way up you use it. Put the springs back in. The hole is now ready to be installed on your car. Take the assembled unit. Start by reinserting the handbrake cable into its latch. Then position the assembly on the plate. Once they are correctly repositioned, refit the brake shoe retaining system. Thread the rods. Put the springs in place. Then lock them in place by turning the hold-down parts a quarter turn. Place the lower spring between the two brake shoes. To do this, use a flat screwdriver or a pickle fork. You can also use a hammer. You can also replace the drum with a new one if you wish. Clean the drum with brake cleaner and paper towels. You can now close the work area by putting the drum back on. Then tighten the drum retaining screw. Finish off the tightening with a Torx wrench. You can now repeat the operation on the other side. After changing your drum brakes, it is necessary to bleed the brake fluid to remove any bubbles that may have entered the system. To do this, we recommend watching the video How to Bleed the Brake Fluid Clio 5. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle, put your car back on the ground, and block the wheels securely. Finish off the tightening with a Torx wrench. Once the bleeding is done, you must pump several times to activate the automatic adjustment of the drum brakes. Under no circumstances should you use a screwdriver to adjust the drum brake, as it works by itself once it has been purged. You will hear adjustment clicks when the handbrake is being pulled. Operation completed.
Hi, it's Theo from Usetool. I hope this video has helped you a lot in your car maintenance. We would be super grateful if you could spread the word so that we can produce even more tutorials. Simply give us a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us boost the channel and help the whole community. Thanks a lot and have a great one.